Good evening. I'm Shannon Bremen for Brett Baer tonight. We begin with a new warning from President Trump. He says he's perfectly willing to let the government shut down again if his border security plans are not accepted. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts starts us off tonight. Good evening, John.
Shannon, good evening to you. With the clock ticking down to the March 5th deadline to get something done on the Dreamers and the government set to run out of money again on Thursday evening, the president appeared to roll those two things together into a threat that seemed to take everyone in Washington by surprise. Chairing a meeting on strategy to confront the notorious Hispanic gang MS-13, President Trump threw a bomb into talks on a budget deal, saying if he can't get an agreement on immigration reform, he's happy to have another government shutdown.
I would shut it down over this issue. If we don't straighten out our border, we don't have a country. Without borders, we don't have a country. So would I shut it down over this issue? Yes. I can't speak for our great representatives here, but I have a feeling they may agree with me.
The threat came straight out of left field. Democrats have been talking about insisting a DACA deal be in place before moving ahead with a 2-year budget, but on the idea of another shutdown, the president found himself an army of one.
Speaks for itself. We had one Trump shutdown. Nobody wants another, maybe except him.
White House Chief of Staff John Kelly today warned Democrats time is running out to get a deal on DACA and immigration reform, that the president is not likely to extend the deadline past March 5th, despite what the president said in Davos just 12 days ago.
We'll get it solved. And if we need a little more time, we'll take a little more time. I want to get the problem solved correctly.
Kelly also raised eyebrows when he took a shot at DACA-eligible illegal immigrants who haven't signed up for the program.
The difference between 690 and 1.8 million were the people that some would say were too afraid to sign up, others would say were too lazy to get off their asses, but they didn't sign up.
At the White House briefing today, the press secretary had deflector shields on full when asked about it.
We want to solve the problem on DACA, and we want to solve the border security issue. We want to end chain migration. We want to end the visa lottery system. What we don't want to do is continue kicking the can down the road. We're focused on actually getting a solution. And frankly, I think if anybody's lazy, it's probably Democrats who aren't showing up to work and aren't actually getting to the table to make a deal on this.
Behind the scenes, the White House today began the process of reviewing the newly received Democratic memo on FISA abuses. Its author, the Democratic ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, said he's concerned with what the White House may do with it.
What I'm more concerned about, Allison, is that they make political redactions. That is, not redactions to protect sources or methods, which we've asked the Department of Justice and FBI to do, but redactions to remove information they think is unfavorable to the president. That could be a real problem.
Sources who have read the memo tell Fox News it contains several references that go to sources and methods that will likely need to be redacted. Republicans suspect their inclusion was intentional to force the White House to make changes that Democrats could later claim showed a double standard, since the White House made no changes to the Republican memo. The White House insists the process for the Democratic memo will be identical to that of the Republican document.
He met with the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, within the last hour to discuss some of the differences between the two memos. And we are undergoing the exact same process that we did with the previous memo, in which it will go through a full and thorough legal and national security review.
Adam Schiff has already laid down a marker insisting that any political redactions would show nothing more than White House stonewalling, forcing him to seek another venue through which he could release his memo, though it's unlikely such efforts would bear fruit in time to really matter. Shannon?
All right, John Roberts live for us in the White House. Thank you, John.